For the pre-instructional drawings, you're going to do 3 little drawings. And they're called pre-instructional because you are not getting any instructions before you're doing it. All it is a baseline to show me what you like to draw, what your skills are right now, how you observe things. So you get the points just for doing it. I don't want you to think, oh, I can't draw, I don't know how to draw, that's why I'm taking this class. Just, show me what you can do so far. The materials are the sketchbook that I provided, a pencil, and an eraser. If you don't think you can get to school today or before the weekend, then go ahead and just do this on 3 plain pieces of paper. I would rather you have a chance to get it done than, just to do it specifically on the materials I've given you. So whether you do it on the sketchbook paper or on your own plain paper, each drawing should be on its own piece of paper. And the sketchbook paper is 6 by, I think it's 6 by 9 inches. So if you're doing it on your own paper, you don't have to use a full sheet. 3 drawings. So the first drawing is going to be your hand by looking at it. You can put it in any position you want. And remember, we're not tracing, we're drawing. Okay, so please don't put your hand on the paper and trace around it. That's drawing number 1. Drawing number 2 is any other object you have in front of you. So I want you to be doing what's called a drawing from observation. And then the third one is anything at all you'd like from your memory or imagination, and that include doodling. So the estimated time to do this is 45 minutes. It should be about 15 minutes per drawing. And then when you're done the 3, there are 4 questions here for you to ask yourself. Question number 1, have I spent 15 minutes at least on each drawing? If not, look at your drawings again and think, is there anything more I could do to them? Number 2, have I drawn the 3 things I was asked to? If not, should I do another? Number 3, are my drawings large enough to use most of the page? So you've got a 6 by 9 inch rectangle. Your drawings should be big enough to fill that whole space. It is more challenging to draw bigger than to draw something teeny tiny. And number 4, did I do each drawing on its own piece of paper? If you didn't, you probably should do at least one of them again. Okay, so when you're done those 3 drawings, you're going to upload them. There is a link here on how to photograph and upload your art because I need to really be able to see it well in order to grade it. There are tips there on how, to do good lighting, how not to get it crooked, all that kind of thing. And just one little note, if you have an iPhone, your camera default setting is now HEIC, which stands for High Efficiency Image Capture, and it is not a photo that you'll be able to upload to this assignment. So you can either change the setting on your camera back to JPEG, or you can take the photos and then open them on your computer in something like a photo editor and turn it into a JPEG. I just don't want you taking pictures using your phone, trying to upload them, and then having it say you can't do it and be concerned. All right, so that's what you're going to do for the rest of this period. I'm going to talk a little bit about the asynchronous assignment. Does anybody have any questions about those 3 drawings? Pretty straightforward. Okay. So the other assignment this week, if we can either go back to the agenda or I can just hit next here, is sketchbook covers. So the sketchbook that you're getting in your packet is actually a sketchbook kit. You will get 2 pieces of cardboard with holes punched in them, a stack of about 20 papers with holes punched in them, and then a spiral binding. And what we like to do is make a cover. We're going to make front and back covers eventually, but this week we're just making the front cover. So you're going to use a drawing using your first and last name that you repeat over and over. You're going to color in spaces where they overlap, and then you're going to assemble them into a sketchbook. So in order to do this, you need the paper designated as front cover. So in your packet, I have given you pieces of paper that were cut to a certain size, and I'll put that in here as well. They're just a little bit bigger than the actual cover of the sketchbook. You're going to need a pencil Possibly. You don't have to do it first in pencil. You can do it all in Sharpie, which is what I did. A Sharpie and 3 colored markers. I've given you all brand new Sharpies, and I've given you 3 to 4 colored markers. And I apologize, I don't have enough to give everybody a full set of markers, but I tried to pick like 3 or 4 colors that look good together. If you have your own markers, feel free to use them for this. You don't have to use the materials I've provided. So I'm going to let you watch this video on your own time because I don't want to take, it's about 10 minutes long. I don't want to take a lot of your class time for this. But basically, you're going to sign your name all the way across the paper. It is super duper important that it goes all the way from one edge to the other. So you can see here I've done Sylvia, and it goes right off the edge of the paper. I've done Nina, which is my first name, right there. And you know, if you can't draw it big enough, you can just reach the lines until they get all the way to the edge. So that's step number 1. Do that over and over again until you make smaller spaces. And step number 2 is using one of your signatures, you're going to outline your name thicker. That's going to draw emphasis to that area and create more of a dynamic composition. And then the last part is using no more than 3 colors of marker, add colors to some of the spaces to make it more interesting. And I would encourage you to color a little less than like 50% of it. And then right there is my example. Okay, so there are some questions for you to self-assess before you submit it. And let's see, what am I forgetting? All right, I'm going to look here at our agenda because I'm afraid I'm forgetting something. So in general, just a reminder, you can pick up your material packets at school from 9:30 to 1:30 any day this week. If you are tempted to wait until next week, hoping that we're back in school, that's a risk you can take. The reason I gave you all of the materials for the whole trimester is I just have no idea if we'll be back in school next week. I'd like to think we will be, but I'm not sure. So what I will do for the rest of this period is I'm going to keep the link open, and I'll be here. I'll be, sitting here working on my computer so that you can check in if you have questions. You can also come back on in a few minutes if you want to show me your sketches and make sure you've done everything right. And let's see, also every day from 2 to 3, we have office hours that you can make an appointment with me, or you could try to catch me via email that time to ask me any questions. If we are back in school next week, please bring with you this assignment, the sketchbook cover that you've drawn. You're not doing anything to it besides making the flat, doing the design. And you might be thinking, this is a drawing class. Why am I doing this, right? But for me, this is a drawing. A drawing is basically marks made on a surface. It doesn't even have to be a piece of paper. So we're breaking up our composition. We're making interesting mark making, and then you're adding color to make it more interesting. So that is your asynchronous assignment for this week. Who has questions?
I have a quick question. So if I go to the school like right now, I just go to the door and click on the doorbell to be let in.
Yep, you know the door, like, you know where the fishbowl is? It's the door nearest that. It goes to the main offices. Yep.
And then, is there like gonna be? So, are they in like bags or something? Or?
Yes. So, you know, there's a table right there under the trophy case that has materials for remote students. So, underneath that table, there are 4 or 5 boxes, and each one is for my art fundamentals and my drawing classes. So, you'll see the one that says drawing 1 and 2. And then inside of it, there are manila folders with everybody's names on them.
Okay.
It's not alphabetical, so you might have to like look through the packet. And so all you need is that manila folder, and then next to the box is a little box with little glue cups in it. So we're going to need white glue to assemble the sketchbook. A glue stick won't work for that. So if you don't have white glue at home, feel free to grab that glue as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Great question. And remember, it's from 9:30 to 1:30 every day. They aren't there the full school day. Anybody else? Okay, so in general, if you haven't had me as a teacher, I don't take points off for things being late. I would rather they be passed in regularly and on schedule, that kind of thing, but I know that there's, a lot going on. Art is a very personal thing for a lot of people, and sometimes it takes people more time to synthesize and to do their work and to be happy with it before they're ready to pass in. So when you look at my due dates, those are basically what would keep you on track for the class. I don't want you to stress and freak out if you don't get something passed in on time. Um, but I do, like a week later, I will start putting zeros in for missed work just as sort of a reminder that you haven't passed it in. But then I take the zero away for full credit when you do pass something in. So, if you don't have transportation or somebody's working or you just can't get to the school in the next couple of days to get your packet, you can do the pre-instructional drawing just on any kind of paper that you have with a pencil, and then we'll get you caught up as soon as you can get the rest of the materials. Okay.